This Aries full moon is very much showing us where we are letting other people define us, right? And we're kind of taking our power back and defining ourselves. But I think with that energy, I think there is this kind of realization of like, we have been changing so fast. Things have been happening in such a fast-paced way that we almost don't realize how much has changed. And we're kind of like sitting around like, okay, like there's been no dramatic change. Nothing is happening. No progress has been made. But we're moving at the speed of light that we're not even able to see how far we've come, right? There's also this desire to rest, but we have to rest in motion because we have this Mars heavy energy in the sky right now with the Aries full moon, with Mercury in Scorpio, with Mars in Scorpio. We're not stuck anymore, but we have no idea where we're going. We don't know the destination, and it's about falling in love with the process. And I think there is this kind of awakening of our creative selves with this Aries full moon here, the rediscovering of our creative selves. And so there might be something bursting at the seams and coming forward within you here. And I think back to like, when it comes to our creativity and the creative forces that connect us all, I think that, humans have this unique ability to express divinity, and it comes through in our creativity. And I think that's why, as humans, we're so put off by art created by AI or art made to appeal to the masses, because real art is self-expression, and art there needs to be a self to express, right? And so you may find that your tastes are changing with this Aries full moon. You may find that your preferences are changing. This is a really great time to throw out old clothes, kind of like really summon in this new energy. You may find that certain furniture in your house just doesn't look right anymore. You may find that you need to rearrange some things in your life because you're really summoning in this new self is being born, and it is thriving, but your old self is dying. It's decrepit. It's withering away. And that can be very uncomfortable. You may even find that you have a tantrum about it. Aries full moon, we know that it's the first sign. Okay. It is the baby. And you might be stomping around. You might be like whining a little bit this week because it's very much like, I am grieving this old version of my life. I am literally like, I kind of want the illusions back. And remember, during the eclipse energy, I was talking about illusions and that coming into play with Saturn and Pisces, and it wiping away a lot of those illusions and those kind of things that weren't real, those friendships that were not real, those relationships that were not real, those habits that were distracting us from what we really need to be doing. And so this Aries full moon is kind of wiping away that you're looking into the mirror and it is blurry, okay? And this Aries full moon is finally wiping it away, and the fogginess is going away, and you're kind of like looking in the mirror and you're like, oh, I can finally see clearly what is happening. And we know that creativity comes from clarity. It doesn't come from consistency. It doesn't come from doing it for other people's consumption. It doesn't real creativity does not come from the sake of doing it for everyone else and making other people happy. It comes from clarity. And that's what this Aries full moon is gifting us, okay, this week. And it's really also going to be previewing when Saturn enters Aries in 2026. And so what is happening here is that the delusions are being wiped away. You may be surprised by this real self that is coming forward. You may yearn for the time where you were victimizing yourself. You may yearn for the time when you were distracting yourself and you were completely blurred by focusing on other people and other people's problems, and you were indulging yourself and reading other people's words and consuming everyone else's art without creating your own. And literally what that does, it just kind of like drains your soul, and it kind of like smears your soul to the point where it's just like blurry. You can't see in there. But now this Aries full moon is giving you the willingness, right, to take action, to clear space for action to happen. We are no longer nostalgic and yearning and pining for when things were easy, because it wasn't easy. It was blurry. You couldn't even see yourself. This Aries full moon is taking one swipe at it, and you're like, oh, what's that? And now you're gonna feel excited again to clear the rest of this mirror here. And so this week you're going to feel these bursts of energy coming forward. You may feel bursts of anger. You may feel a burst with your personal energy. You may feel like tears. You might start crying randomly. You might have fits of laughter randomly. You are going to feel this sense of spontaneity. And it's going to feel exciting, right? You might even notice this week that like some things just aren't fitting anymore. It's just not fitting the way that they used to. And there's no need to cling on to it. There's no need to try to make it fit. Just get rid of it. Give it away. You might find yourself, if you haven't been able to remember your dreams a lot, if that's been something that you've been losing, you might find yourself remembering your dreams again. And this change in your energy patterns, this change in your attitudes might seem like really weird and eccentric to other people around you in your life. You might even question it. You might even doubt it. But it is healing you, right? The real healing and the real growth that happens is something that is very slow and quiet and happens in the background. Trust that it's happening with every step that you take forward. Even if it's not obvious and dramatic and in your face, it is happening in the background. And right now what's happening is like your old self has kind of been destroyed and you're walking away from the aftermath and you might be feeling a bit bruised. Your ego's really feeling bruised right now. You might feel a little disheveled and you don't have anything to take you from A to B. The only thing you have to do is to just keep walking, is to keep moving forward, even if you don't know what's coming next. So as you gain clarity, the misconceptions, the lies, the delusions, the ambiguities, the vagueness, that fades away. But a lot of us have found comfort there. A lot of us have found safety there. And standing in the light, standing in the clarity is what is actually scary. But clarity is the only thing that's going to create change. Clarity is the only thing that's going to get us out of this rut and get us out of the blockages and get us out of the stuckness and the stagnant energy. Clarity is the only thing that can create that. And so this Aries full moon is really thawing a lot of stuck up feelings of resentment, and it might overwhelm you. It might overwhelm your system. You may feel overstimulated, so be prepared for that this week. This energy is really showing you what have you outgrown, what is boring you, and what is no longer working, and how a lot of that is going to, when you track where it comes from, the root of it is that you're bored of yourself, right? And that there are certain situations that we're in that are keeping us stifled, but we don't want to go through the trauma of getting ourselves out of that situation and trying to find something else. And our brain is in survival mode. Our brain simply wants to protect us from that. So our brain just continues to come up with reasons and excuses as to why everything's fine, and we can just pretend like everything's fine where we are currently at. We have to remember that we have initiated this change. We have initiated it by our own hand. We put our hand into the wolf's mouth, right? We are now being faced with this kind of impending change, and maybe to us it looks like, from our perception, it looks like impending doom. And we might cry as we're wrung through these changes. And these cries are trying to point us towards our truth, trying to get us to meet ourselves in this truth, to get rid of our false self, this false identity that we've been sustaining and nurturing, and to meet ourselves in reality, in truth, in authenticity. And this real new self that is emerging, maybe the process might feel a bit traumatic, it might feel like you're being banged up a little bit, but this is a new frontier. This is a new land. The Aries full moon is saying, are you sick of your own shit yet? And if you are, that is healthy. Trust your impulses this week.